Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. For those on the opposite side of the world, let's get into some of the cryptos. Welcome to Chartroom episode 138. The first crypto we'll just remind you guys of is going to be BTC. Remember, we spoke about Bitcoin coming to this resistance. This is a type of order block. There's a lot of resistance here in this area, and this is it over here. This is actually very interesting that it's a few different areas on a few different charts of mine. But on a few of our older charts, we had a lot of resistances at that area as well. But price came back to the high side, pulled back, and is still in this area, but it's on the high side of that area. So I do expect Bitcoin to go higher in this season. Okay, we may be hitting our targets up here, which is going to be 45, 50, and 51,000 area. In older charts, I had another resistance set at 60,000. We may be able to recover some of those others, but I do have a belief that that Bitcoin's gonna pump, and even if it goes higher, I believe it's gonna settle around 45,000, somewhere around there. I really believe that we'll see Bitcoin come up to the high 60s, maybe even the 80s. And then come back down to the 45. And if that happens, remember that means a very important prophetic marker, a time marker. Okay. But until then, those are the simple targets. Those are the targets that we have for you guys. Yeah. I'll need to be able to locate one of my older charts, and then I'll let you know in a future episode. But until then, I'm looking for Bitcoin on the rise. Don't worry, there's always a move on Bitcoin. And if we do see a move up to 60 or 80 today, then we'll have an emergency Bitcoin meeting. Somebody call me if you see it. Okay, somebody give me a call. Shoot me an email. I check my email a few times a day. All right. We are going to look at XLM. For our XLM chart, we do have a target marker at 13 cents. The main primary resistances being two areas. If we pull up the weekly chart, you'll see the first one. It should be, actually it's going to be almost about the same angle, and it's in purple. I'm going to bring this up so you guys can see it pretty well. Okay. But it's this one right here, okay? The exact angle should be just slightly a little bit higher, approximately there. Okay. And that means that last week was a very good week. We are at the start of a good week. Now 4 days left. But you can see that there's bullishness that has entered into XLM based on this short-term run on the weekly chart. There's also a little bit more information that we're going to extract from XLM. In the meantime, let me move this chart over. Price hit our lower target, but if we see price move, yeah, price hit our lower target, which is actually pretty good. And I'm going to recalculate this area on XLM to confirm our resistance targets. Target number 3 being way up here, and I'll get you all those prices for you XLM traders. Everything in this video is not financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. Bear in mind that I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trading in the market and eating red crayons both carry substantial risks. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against. Let's give these a label. Target 3, target 2, and target 1. And then again, I'm going to confirm those. The way I'm going to confirm those is what we're doing is we're taking the data that we have within this section here, as we taught in our tutorial on target trading. I believe that's lesson number 6. It may be lesson number 7. Go ahead and check our website. Sword method lesson number 6 and 7. We're going to bring it back to the most recent data, and we're going to carry all of that. And we can still see that this area here is the lowest in these areas. So we're going to raise it up a little bit. We're going to do a Josh Groban. You raise me up. We're just going to make it a little bit higher. And we can see that this bounce is in keeping with our target. It's very often that price will bounce on these targets. There's one other place that price bounces, and it does bounce on the peaks. And I'll show you those peaks here. Watch this side of the screen. So we can see that from this top and this top, this is the peaks. Think of them like a mountain that's sideways. You have to tilt your head like this. It looks like some of the mountains in the desert. And the very lows is here. These very lows, those are the areas where price usually is attracted to because it's easy for price to hit them. They're very low volume areas. But every now and then you may see a reversal at those areas. Okay, even for a short time. There's one right here, and we now adjusted it so we can see that price has been building on there, and this is on the weekly chart. So that's a very good. And then if we see price going below there, we'll look for price to fall as well. But for right now, I'm going to fade this away. It's not in our immediate future. Okay, XLM has had a break, and there's health above here. A few other things we're going to look at now that we're in this positive season. We're going to keep an eye, and we're going to make sure that we build our foundational area, which was down here. We spoke about foundational areas in lesson number 8 and lesson number 9. And I'm going to be drawing a trend line connecting these foundational areas as best I can. And I'm going to collect this, and we're going to draw it in white, and we're going to make it very thick for XLM. All right, now I'm collecting primarily the energy from way here, over here, this energy center, and here, using just this as a verification right here. Okay, this little peak, just as a price that came down and spiked to this area, it's a verification that there's a lot of strength on this line. So we're going to need to pay attention to this angle. That's where everything is consistent. However, the fire side is not consistent, and that's going to be this top side. So as we're going up, all these tops, these are consistent, but this one's not. That one's, you can draw a line from here to here, but this one's not included. So you can see how these are not, these tops here are not consistent. So the real story, the real brunt of the story is going to be here. Okay. By the way, since this is Wednesday and I get to show you guys a lot more stuff, we're going to delete now the volume profile. And by the way, if you wanted to know how to get that volume profile, it's going to be on your toolbar. Go to your toolbar, and then you're going to come down here to prediction and measurement. And I'm going to move it, see, prediction and measurement. Go down there, and then on the right-hand side, one of them is going to say fixed range volume profile. And that's how you can see those. Order blocks are created from fixed range, from volume profiles. They do smaller segments, and that's how you can see lots of different order blocks. But I like to see the largest energy in this class. That's what we always love to do. Okay, now what we're going to do after this is we're going to look at a few things, and I'm going to teach you about price squared. Just a small bit, okay? We don't have this as a major part of Sword Method 5.0, but in a future version, maybe in version 6, we're going to teach more about this. But there's times when it works, and there's times where there's more complexities that are involved. The reading of it is a little bit more difficult, but many times it's very simple. And the basic teaching is this. When there is a price trend, with one side being clearly consistent, in this case you have 3 touches in this area, so we know that this is our main line, right? When that's the case, then price will be squared as Gan taught, and this is how it's going to work. Even he used an advanced calculator for this, but visually it's squared when these peaks intercept the main line. These peaks intercept the main line here, drawing a flat line. And when that happens, you often see a new price do something, have a new change in behavior. And therefore, these create time cycles. So there should be a time cycle marker change here in May of 2024, November of 2024, and somewhere here in 2026, based on this energy. This doesn't come into your immediate future right now, and so therefore it may not be important to you at this moment, but this is something you guys can see and start practicing with if you guys want to use it. You'll see that something happens during those times. Sometimes it's a flip of the price. And to just mark that on our charts, although this is way out of our future right now, just look to where they intercept together. You do have to draw accurately for this to happen, but it's a blessing. And then you can just add a flag. And we're going to add a flag about right here where these meet together. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one right here. where they meet to get, oops, get another flag mark. And I'm just going to put a flag about here. And I'm going to get one more flag. And I'm going to add that to the very, very top one right here. Now, you don't have, I'm getting a big white line for you guys. But I don't know if you guys can see it, but I already have crosshairs on my chart. One that shows up and one that shows down. Because I have that in my settings. And because I have that in my settings, I don't really need to draw that big white line. That's just for your sake, so you guys can see it. But other than that, borrow your one flat line, stretch it out, and put your flag where they match. Alright, so I know now to be paying attention to those dates. October of 2026, and the nearest one is going to be May. So I'll be paying attention to May. And sometimes you'll see price come back in those pockets at those times. And if you do see them go in those pockets and start to reverse, it should be a big order. These can be applied to smaller time frames. You'll often see it, but there's a lot to learn in this, so I'm not really properly teaching it at this time, and one day maybe I'll get a chance to teach it. We'll include it in Sword Method 6.0. Okay, so I just wanted to add you that weekly chart, teaching you how to do that. I'm going to take a quick screenshot. Okay, let's go to the daily real quick. On the daily, this is the same. Okay, health appeared in XLM. All right, let's go to a 6-hour chart and a 12, and let's go down and see if there's going to be the next opportunity. Okay, I'm going to pull price ahead of us. As I'm looking at this 12-hour chart, some people are going to be looking for your next entry on XLM. Should we get in right now? How is it going to look? On XLM, we're gauging and we're measuring all of this. So this is the type of energy we're going to look. We do have a foundational area, and it's going to be a very severe angle. I shouldn't say severe. I said it's going to be a very slow angle. Okay, so let's do something. Since we're going to be measuring this area real quick. And on Wednesdays, I like to slow it down a little bit more. Teach you guys a little bit more, right? Especially now since we're over with all of our lessons. I'm going to draw a trend line from this foundational area. I'm connecting these two foundational areas. And again, by foundation, we mean how it all started. Okay. Primarily this area here. Okay. And as we're looking in that area, we're going to draw a new trend line. Now this new one, I'm going to draw it with a different color. Let's just use green. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for my next set of health and resistances. We can see that these, to the top side, there is a fire resistance here. Okay, it is not the same angle as the foundational area. But I can see that price is being healthy by sitting on top of and building from this past energy center. So if I was drawing this, the pullbacks, you can see that price is building right here, but also pulling back to the area. So if we're drawing it like this, you can see there's your top and there's price pulling back. So you can see just a few days ago, or on October 26th, that was the next area where prices should have gone up. Price pulled back to the top side of this foundational area. Okay. If we're going to label these, we can label these. It would look like this. It's hard to see because I have this blue line right here. And we can fade this away since it's primarily already hit. Okay. But we can label it key angle, or KA number 1. And let's label it, and we're going to move this to the left side and keep it on bottom. Okay. And this top one would be therefore be PA, or phantom angle number 1. If you wanted to give it a label. Left side. Move it to the top. So do you see how that works? So we can see that price is pulling back to these areas on the 12-hourly chart, and that's continuing its health. We would be therefore looking at this area more closely on a smaller time frame, and you can watch it primarily on an hourly chart. Let's pull up an hourly chart and see if there was an opportunity of health as we were coming to that area. And yes, there was. As we're examining everything within this circle, each now bar is worth 1 hour. And we do have a new foundational area here and here. Slice it, you can see price rejected here, and the health appeared, and you're basically good to go. Okay. You're having all these charts are in alignment with your current story. Okay. If you were drawing it professionally, when you're drawing 1 hour charts and things like that, use the dotted line feature. Dotted line. Change your line weight to dotted. You can make it thick. I usually like a white dotted line, so I know that it's not going to be on my chart long. If I see white dotted lines and prices past them, I'm not concerned about it. But it's during these areas here that I'm waiting for price to get on the positive side. Until then, this can be bouncing and bouncing down that mountain. I'm waiting for it to go on the positive side, and then I know it's in alignment with the rest of the story. I know that, hey, there's already health on the bigger. I'm just waiting for a smaller entry. And these smaller entries are not as clean as the main entries, like a sword cut. So sometimes you'll see price come down to the sword cut area. In this case, it would be here. And we are not coming back down to the sword cut. We barely pulled back. And that's it. Did price come to any other cut? Yeah, a foundational support line. But not the sword cut. Okay, not the sword cut, but the foundational support line. And that's on a 1 hour chart. So that's how you can bring your, as what we spoke about in lesson number 10, bringing the higher level charts into your now world. Cryptos that you're paying attention to. Hey, Jason said something about XRP. It should be bullish. So where's the entry on XRP? Without being so vague, in a normal chart room dive, we're going to usually be going over the daily charts. The cryptos you should be paying attention to. And the big stories you should be paying attention to. But what about you? How do you enter into the world? How do you trade these now? Okay, and that's how you. This is where we use this method, where we're taking one big world, in this case here, because we see the support, and then we go to the smaller story and see, hey, I should be watching this now on a smaller time frame, and then you cut it in half, and we spoke about that lesson in great depth. And so this is how you can get the best entries. Therefore, we'd be looking for an entry about right there. Okay? Right there where I circled in white. We'd be looking for entries back in here. Otherwise, you would be looking for an entry right here. And those prices. And so your XLM prices, if you guys were intraday trading, would be around 11 cents. Somewhere around there, and around the end of this candle, 11 cents 4. Okay? 11.4 and 11.4. Oh, actually, they're both 11.4, 11.42 and 11.47. Okay, and then you should be in profit. But these are the same principles we use in dive. Okay, larger story, larger health. Okay, shorter term entry. There's 1, 2, 3, and possible entries for this. I like to teach this so you guys don't miss out on the trains. Okay, does anybody have any questions about XLM on where we are right now? By the way, how you can understand all of that stuff, how we can put all of this together, how looking at those key angles you could see, hey, price pulled back here or price pulled back here. You knew to pay attention here for the new health. Okay, you knew to pay attention. So here you're like, oh, I better pay attention. Are we going to have a break and get the entry here? Some people who are risky, you're going to just buy right here at some of the lower prices. Okay, nobody really should be buying over here just yet, unless you have other confluences of supports on the higher time frames that match it. Okay, no other questions about this? Okay, there's only one other thing I wanted to share, and that is you want to draw a trend line here to here. You can fade these ones down here. You can fade them out of there. You don't need them anymore once you have the story. Oops, keep your foundational angle on there. If price ever crosses from this side on here into this area over here, that's the next sign of weakness is. So you can leave that on there. But what I am going to do is I'm going to draw the next, you can view it like a foundational angle, but the truth is we already call it accelerated adjustment line. So that means 1, 2, and if price bounces here for some reason and just goes skyrocket, then we would draw another one, and we cover this in lessons number 2 and 3. It's called accelerated adjustment lines. Okay. So we're going to draw this accelerated adjustment line real quick, but you could think of them as a foundational area. If you miss the correct one, that's way down here. It's like barely an angle. It almost looks flat, right? But if you miss it, draw the one that's usually the most important one anyway. And it's approximately here. This one's you do not want to have dotted, but we're gonna have it a little bit thinner. And I'm gonna draw it in green as well, but I'm gonna label this one AAL. And I'm going to bring it to the right hand side, and I'm gonna bring it to the bottom, the words to the bottom. Okay, so I know that I'm looking right now primarily that price is on top of this accelerated adjustment line. Okay, do I have anybody, no other questions about XLM? Okay, I love to share with you guys this, and we'll watch. By the way, we use that accelerated adjustment line to know when more weakness is appearing. Sometimes price pulls back come back to the phantom, or it may primarily come down to here, which is mostly what I would expect, somewhere in this zone. That's the main zones, back to the original support line, which is the original key angle. But we use these accelerated adjustment zones to say, hey, weakness, if we see multiple weaknesses appearing, we know that, hey, abandon ship. And if you're riding your profits, a lot of people take profits way too soon. I had somebody call me the other day, or a message the other day, and said, hey, I need to get out of crypto. I have some XRP. And I was like, no, XRP's move is just getting started. XRP was like 54 cents and jumped the next day to 60 cents. We identified a lot of health on XRP this past week. Actually, we saw it just a little bit before that, but we made a public video about it. And everybody takes their profits way too soon on a crypto. In the stock market, they do it in every market. We take our profits way too soon. And I think it was Tom Williams who said that was the major problems in the markets. We take our profits too soon, and then we exit and we take our losses way too late. So how do we mitigate that? You can let your profit ride until you start seeing your weakness. So I can let this thing go up to the moon if I wanted to. But once I cross onto this side and weaknesses start appearing, I know to take my profits. I know it's time to take my profits. So if you have health that is here, you can still wait and ride your profits. And the amount now price may come back down and you can enter in weakness. That's fine. That's fine. But at least you took your risk, right? And that's the best kind of risk you can take. If you're going to take a risk, risk it for the biscuit. Okay. Some of you will have a trailing stop loss. And that helps sometimes too if you guys are stop trailers in your stop loss so that you're guaranteed some profits. Okay, anyway, I wanted to throw out those things before we get really into all of our cryptos for today. We went all the way down to that 1 hourly chart on the XLM. Let's now go to XDC. So XLM healthy. Oh, by the way, I did not label that XLM. And I had one other XLM chart I wanted to show you guys, the Bitfinex one. We do have a large target at 27. Remember that. Large target at 27. Okay. The line we were watching here has now been broken. Same story. Okay. But I did want to just bring all of that into your world. This was our previous chart. So let's update this quickly. See Chartroom 136. Prices above 11 cents may be the area for the entry if there's a breakout to the top side that happened. However, with price recently resisted against the upper trend line, this indicates we are still within the current downtrend territory. That was back then. That is no longer the case. Okay. So I said it may break above, and then now that changes everything. Okay, so we're gonna just give my final comments on this new health. Prices have broken above the 11 area as discussed in Chartroom EP 136. This is healthy for XLM, and there was another smaller entry near the last pullback on the 12-hour charts and 1-hour charts. CR EP 138 November 1st. My main targets, main upper resistance will be around 27 cents. Structures above there would indicate, and then the higher ones we have around $1. Okay, up there. Structures above there would indicate prices bullish, possibly to the $1.07 area. I think 107? No, it's 101. 101 area. Okay, now I'm going to copy this because this is on our Bitfinex. Okay, and I'm going to put this here, pull price one more time to the front. It's the large story. I want everybody to see that resistance there. Okay, and what I'm also going to do is I'm going to go back to my other chart, the one we just did right now. I'm getting a very comprehensive XLM, and we're going to go to crypto cap for XLM USDT. Oh, that wasn't right. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not the right chart. It's down here. Sorry about that. So XLM on Coinbase, I'm just going to add a little text box and place that same exact commentary on this map. And then I'm going to bring in that 27-cent resistance block based on the map, not just the targeting system. And I'm going to put it around 27 cents. And I'm going to put it in red. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. Sorry to take a lot of time on XLM. It's one of the more popular ones. And let's go to XDC. It's very much the same story. Okay. Very much the same story. A lot of health appearing based on the break out of here. Okay, so we know that health appeared here. It's beautiful because price pulled back to the sword cut over here. And price just shot up like overnight. And everybody's like, what happened, right? We saw it. We know what to look for. That's how sword cuts work. I love them. Thank you, Lord, for the sword cuts. And you can see price building here for quite some time and then just shot up. All right. Now we're going to be paying attention to the foundational areas. And in this case, we actually have this one and this one. They're two large ones. So if you need the screenshot for the foundational areas, those are them. Okay, let me move these off to the side. Okay. The other thing we're going to be doing is we were looking at price playing around in this area for quite some time. And we're hunting the down move, looking for the health is going to come when the down move is broken. We know we're in the uptrend because of the foundational areas. We know that we're making higher lows and higher highs, and we're just hunting that down move. And the down move that we were hunting on the weekly chart was over here. Okay, let's go now to the daily chart, and we're going to see what all of this was happening. Now we can clear out a lot of this gunk that's in here. And all right, now we played underneath here, so we didn't need that one anymore as well. Good. Let's clean up this chart. An easy way to clean is to turn on your eraser tool. Your eraser tool is going to be on the very top in the far right. Okay, and then we can just click easy. I use these for our classes a lot, so sometimes there's a lot of data, but sometimes you don't need it. A lot of time you don't need it. And when I'm doing new charts, I give you guys a lot of, a lot of tutorial and a lot of options. So you know how to read. It's like having a recipe. If mom goes out of town, she'd say, okay, here's the recipe. All right. Now that we know this, we can strip it down to the basics that we need. Okay. That's the support we were looking for. This is the support. Had Tiger Energy. Price is holding on the weekly above that line. Okay, we don't really need that one no more. All right. And what else? On October 23rd, currently waiting for a short entry. All right, the 2-hour move on Saturday hit the target quickly now, and it's going back up in that area. Wait for resistance around 48, 49. Safe for entry. All right. So we're looking for resistances and support to continue a down move somewhere into here. We just deleted many of those. We then had one pullback in that area, down to that area real quick, and then back up. No more entries. Okay. All right. These are the two tiger supports. We knew that support area. We can delete that. We don't need that support anymore. We did not want to short above the orange line. Now, price has broken above. Therefore, we would be looking bullish, and for a bullish entry on XDC. Okay, daily chart. I don't need to put daily chart because we're going to hunt for it today. Okay, let's update this. Since that target was hit, the short target was hit. Today is going to be November 1st. Okay, currently bullish. Let's look for an entry. Okay, so we know a few things. We have our consistency key angle right here. You're going to need that. Put it on your chart. I'm going to double check my weekly and make sure that is... You can see that I need to adjust this angle a little bit, accounting for the cores, and I will. Okay, so we're going to do that. I'm counting for right here. This is what I'm focused on. This is what we're drawing, and we're going to draw that out like that. Okay, so if you guys are following along, you need that line. We're going to label that key angle support, and I'm just going to put that in my little quotation marks for you guys. I'm going to move this to the center, and we're just going to put it on the bottom, and there it goes. Jesus be the center of it all. Okay, stripping it down to the bare bones, what you guys need. Oops. Now we do have a consistency that's on the top, and I'm going to show you guys. It's in blue. Do you guys see this in blue right here? Keep that on. Keep that drawing on there, because this means that price can continue to play in that area. Okay, so don't remove that. Do not remove those stitches. Okay, some people like to take off their scab too early. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, now let's go back down to the daily. We adjusted all of our angles. Make sure it's ready. There's the main trade has started. The main trade has started, and last week price pulled up. Actually, when price started broken above back here on October 24th, the health was already appearing, and you got your first move here. If we're going to draw a sword cut, we're going to draw a wide sword cut. So this symbol we already knew what to expect, and that's already started. All right, let's draw the sword cut where we cross over in this area. Okay, and we're going to make it orange, and this is going to be our sword cut. Okay, but there's a problem with this sword cut. Price is already performing on the downside of the sword cut back to the main trend line. It's like the plane down here. You can see that right when we broke above, we pulled back. If that's the case, what can we do? If we're looking at the story, you want to give wide berths to these sword cuts. I'm going to pull the sword cut down to account for that down move and pretend like it's just starting, because for the most part, sometimes we're just looking too close. Look at the weekly chart and you can see that we haven't really pulled back down to that area in the larger story. You need time. You need candles to give you the truth of the story. Do you see how I look on the weekly chart and it looks like we have a lot more room on here? Give it that room. Give it that room. Give yourself a high side for the sword cut and give yourself a low side for the sword cut. You're trying to get as close as you can to the possible area. It is an art. I'm going to raise it up about here, and we're going to bring that down to the bottom course, and there you go. So this is where I would draw the sword cut. A low side of 0.0 and a high side up here of 0.0504. Is it okay to have two numbers on there? Is it exact science? Not exact, but it's pretty close. You're just trying to get in a range. So this is the sword cut range, and I can help you wrap your mind around that a little bit better. Okay, sword cut range, high side and low side. Therefore, we're looking for the pullbacks now. Now that we're looking for pullbacks, you may want to be looking for a pullback to the high side or to the low side. If you see structures like this, you know that things are really wrong. Let me give these to you. Okay. And where you might want to take the trade, about right here, if you get the pullback there. Okay, can you get lower numbers on the drops? We're going to look at that in just a second. The foundational number, by the way, if you wanting to know what the support is, you got a backup safety net, that larger key angle foundational support. Weekly chart, we needed to put weekly, by the way. Weekly chart. So we know that this is a very large support, strong support here. And they intersect here in this pocket. Let's just give you that pocket. And we will make this with a white border. What's related to here? 0.0401. Now, if price falls today, you're probably going to fall back down to the foundational support, but I wouldn't be focusing on that. Almost always certainly the sword cut, and then below that, let's look at these foundational areas. So as long as you can take that range, 0.040, but right now you're at 0.049 and 0.047 as your supports. So that's going to be good. Okay, that's going to be real good. I hope you guys can, if you cannot take price moving back that far, you may be over trading in your XDC. All right, let's hunt a little bit better. Let's gonna go down to the 12 and the 6. I can already tell you there's not gonna be nothing fine on the 12, not much. There's something. I'll tell you this. Look at this. On the 12-hour chart, we can see there's a foundational support. So we can be paying attention to this area and watch that support line. Let's draw it now. But remember, since we're drawing anything under a daily chart, I'm going to make what we're drawing dotted. So I'm going to draw it in green. I can make it thick, but it's green and dotted. So I know to not give it too much weight in my mind long term. Okay, now that I got that, I can see that when we broke up to the top side, that price is already showing some health breaking above that resistance from the foundational. So that's a sign that price is actually becoming very bullish. Okay, very bullish. And we may have even higher inconsistencies on top, and the consistencies may be on the bottom. That may be a clue about what's happening. Okay. By the way, we may want to be paying attention to November 7th. Okay. Let's go a little bit further, because if you're looking for another entry on XDC, we're going to have that coming up. So let's draw this. Let's label this foundational support 12 hour. And we'll make it small. I'm going to make it on the top side. Actually, left. There we go. Foundational support 12 hour. Okay, now let's go to a 6 and a 3 hour chart. Okay, the same is still for the 6. It's the same exact angle, so therefore I'm going to put some more weight in my mind for that specific angle. Okay, we're going to go to the 3. We're just cutting time in half. Okay, and we're going to go to the 1 hour chart. Now what I'm doing at this point is, if we are looking for another entry, the only entries that we had in this area, let me move that down. The only real entries you had looking on these charts once the health came was here so far. So that may have been one if you guys were paying attention to it. I wasn't. I'm not following too closely XDC. But that may have been one entry right there. The other entry will be when we get a consistency to the downside, and then we can cut it. That will be another entry. Let me ask you a question. Do you think we have it right now? Do we have another entry to the downside just yet? No. We don't have that downside move yet. So we don't have the entry for the downside cut. We would need something. We would need something. And right now all we got is just a down move. So we may not want to take any action. At the very least, at the very least we may want to get close to the sword cut numbers, top or bottom. Okay, at the very least. But what's going to keep us out of trouble is if we draw that line, even if we come to sword cut, I want to be on the positive side of that line that we draw. That way, that's why that line would be so important. And we just don't have it yet. Because price could be bouncing around on the underside of here and never come to the top. And we could still come all the way back down to the main angle. Okay, this one over here. That's why it's safer just to pay attention to the angle and get on top of that angle, okay? Get on top of that angle, and then you're good to go. So we don't have it. This is all the way a 1 hour chart. So on the 1 hour chart, we do not have an entry, okay? Let's put another update. I do not yet have a consistent down angle that I can cut. If I see it, if you see it and price breaks above that angle, this would indicate the next possible entry for XDC. Okay, so that's how it would work. If you draw that angle and price breaks above, there's your next entry. You guys could be watching this on the 1 hour chart for the next 24 hours and you may get it. Okay, most likely this will occur as price falls further back towards the sword cut prices and 0.048 areas. Okay, so those two main words will leave you with. Okay, but right now it's not there. You just don't got it. There's no entry yet. And I'm going to zoom into that picture so you can see it. Yeah. This requires a little more patience. This requires patience. I like Wednesdays. I can slow it down and just tutorial you guys how it works. All right, so if you guys are going to watch, if you're taking notes, XDC is healthy, no entry, watch it on the 1 hour chart. When you see price give you a few different angles, a few different foundational areas, you guys can draw it something like that or however it's going to look. Draw the down move and then take the price when we cross over. Okay, this is how you're going to bring this into your world. That would be your entry. Let's make this like green just to be hypothetical. Okay. And let's clone this out and put here, draw the down move, hunt the down move, because the health is already in the larger time frames. When you see it, draw it. There, cut it. If you can cut it, you will find your entry. Okay, if you can cut it, you'll find your entry. And I'm going to put this in green, okay? Just to teach you guys how this works. See episode EP 138. Okay, November 1st. That's how you're going to find it. Okay? All right, we speak a lot about this in episode number 10, where we bring all of your outer world into your smaller world, those larger trades within larger trades. Larger trades that carry the smaller trades, and the smaller trades that are entries are within these. So episode 10 was really, thank you, Superfood. Yeah, episode number 10, check it out for Chartroom lesson number 10. It's going to be very powerful. It was just this past month, I think last Wednesday, we finished up. Okay, and that's one of the best trainings you guys can have. Yes, Superfood.
Good morning. Hey, sorry, man. I didn't know if you saw my chat. I was able to chime in for a bit, but I just want to let you know on that low buy order, the one that you gave out about a week ago. I just want to let you know, man, it went through, brother.
Which one?
Your chart's off the hook. Low buy order for XDC, man.
Okay.
It went through while I was sleeping. So I just want to let you know, man, your charts are on point, man. If anyone pays attention, all you got to do is put a low buy orders for JSON states, and then that thing is just spot on, dude. Spot on. It went at 0.045.
Okay.
Was the one, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the 0.045 prices.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So
Thank you, Jason.
No problem. And if you guys didn't see that entry, believe it's episode 136. We deleted all those support lines because you guys don't need those right now anymore. There's nothing you can do in the past. But yeah, we did have support at those areas, and some people are going to buy at some of these lowest possible areas, and that's where you want to do it. We also give a warning. We were looking to short all within that segment, but we also give a big warning: do not short after we're on the orange, above the orange line. Okay, and now we can we deleted that because now we're above the orange line. So you guys are looking for health.
Jason,
Yes.
Not 0.048.
Oops.
Good morning, by the way.
Yeah, thank you very much. 0.048. Yes, good morning. You're on your iPad now, Sharon?
Yes. I cannot wait for worship time. Oh, this is good.
Well, we'll move on. Okay. All right. Let's look at GALA on Binance USDT. And we identified bullishness in GALA with a major trade potentially up to this bull line. We drew the sword cut and we're waiting for price to pull back, and it looks like over the past few days we've been pulling back to the sword cut. Okay, the only other real areas below here are back to the major resistance. Now this is important because this was the big trend that's been happening for almost over a year now. Okay, we've been in this area, in this major downtrend here. Okay, very low. Okay, and because we're very low, we were not looking for any health, any prices to do anything special for us. Okay, but now all of that's changed. Okay, all of that's changed. Our world has changed because we're now in the healthy side of price. There's one problem that we're going to have. We have a foundational area from here and here that's going to come up and probably hurt us as price goes up. So once we go up, look for that resistance and then for price to come down. But if price breaks above that area, even if it's later in time, just say it's down here because the time keeps going on, right? And the prices are like even lower, it wouldn't matter. What's important is that the health has appeared. Okay, for the most part, as long as we're not really super underneath these lows down here, maybe that would matter a little bit. But for the most part, we don't really care about the price. We care about the angle. And that angle currently is measured around 2.7 and 0.024. That means watch for that. Is it saying you want to take profits at there? You may want to, but I would just be watching to see what price is going to do at that angle. Most likely you're going to reject and you're going to pull back for a time. So therefore price would look like, may look like this. We'll go up here and then come back for a time. So you may want to take some profit at that GALA around 0.02 cents. But right now that's price is 0.018. So what's the potential that's on the money on the table? Right now the potential money on the table is 38%. Okay, 38%, approximately 38%. So look to get that. You might got it. You might got it. You might got it. God, that's not English. You might get it.
English.
I need to practice my English. My English. Okay. All right. Anyway, if you're going to get GALA at sword cut, you're currently at the best prices. So right now you want to get it between 0.018 and 0.017, and there you are. We're at 0.018. Okay. Yeah. If you're hunting, and then just go to that where I'm going to just bypass a lot of time since we spent a lot of time today. Going right to the 1 hourly chart, do you have a foundational area that you can trade the up move? And by the way, I need to do that in order so you guys remember. Just to jog your memories from last week. When you're in health, block it out. Okay, I'm going to block it out and we're just going to cover this magenta area. All right, the health has appeared in this area. So now, within that area, within this magenta square, we're going to zoom in. And just to save a lot of time right now for class, normally you're going to go from a daily to a 12, to a 6, to a 3, to a 1. But to save time, we're going to hunt the down moves in this square. Do we have a down move? Yes or no? This is a 1 hour chart. Each candle is 1 hour. There's going to be another 24 of these candles by this time tomorrow. Are we in a down move? Yes or no? I use this class on Wednesdays for a tutorial. Yes. Can somebody draw where we want to take the trade? Can somebody draw where we're going to take the trade on here? Draw it on my chart. Use the zoom annotate feature. Somebody draw. Where do we want to take our GALA trade? Okay. Now Jay goes, you're close. You're actually hunting the up move. Price is going down right now. We're making lower highs and lower lows. So we're looking for the down move so we can cut it. Okay, we're not trading the down move. We're gonna look for that down move so we can cut it. Where then would be our entry for positive prices? Because we know on the larger term, the larger scale, there's up move. So that means from lesson 10, that means all the down moves are incorrect. All the down moves are incorrect. So we hunt them like a lion that looks for the weak one in the pack, because that's your meal ticket, right? You look for the one that's sick, right? That's the one that can't keep up with the herd. We watched this nature documentary of the wolves, and the wolves are going around and they're hunting for several days and they're not making a move. They're just observing. They're stirring up the crowd. They're stirring up the crowd of wildebeest, and they're looking and they're studying which ones are going to be the ones they're going to invest their energy, because they only have so much. They're hungry. Their bellies are hungry. They only have a certain amount of energy from which to run, and those animals are real strong. You don't want a strong one against you, so they hunt the weak ones. Okay, so you hunt with if we know that the trend is up, we don't want to be swimming against the trend. We want to hunt the down moves. Where is the major down move on here? Can somebody see it? And therefore, where would be our entry? Besides sword cut. Okay, and wait, sorry, Jagos. Jagos almost got it. Almost got it, Jagos. You got one, right? You got one, I should say. Jagos drew a line from here to here. And that's good. Where's the other one that you want? And that means you want to take the trade when we're on this side of the price. And you could do that. But I would say that there's one that's going to be a lot more stronger, because we focus on round action in Sword Method 5.0. We focus a lot on round action. Those are going to be the safer ones. That's what the Lord told me. Teach round action. Show it. Is there round action anywhere within here? Can anybody see it? Got it. And where's that round action? Okay, good, Lisa. Does anybody see the round action that's within here? Kind of, Lisa, but it's not it. There's a clear and obvious one. All right, now I'll give you the answer. So if you guys are watching online, this is the answer. This is your round action here. Okay. Now I'm going to delete these lines. Go ahead and delete your lines if you can. Save me some time. Do you see the large smiley face here? When you see that, there's your trade. There's your resistance line. Anytime you go above that line, yes, we're accelerating. That's your new acceleration line. But I'm primarily focused on where that round action was, especially if I get another peak like that, if we get one. But either way, the foundational line is set. Watch lessons 9 and watch lessons 10 for practical use on how to use this, okay? That means we're waiting for price to cross over. Now this is amazing, because I'll tell you why this is so amazing. GALA is because on the larger story, remember the daily chart, we already pulled back to the sword cut. We're already in this area. Price went up after the major health and pulled back to the sword cut. So we're already in the area where we're looking for health anyway on GALA, which is fantastic, okay? By the way, I'm going to take okay. And then now on the 1 hour chart, all the way down on the smallest level charts, we got a very clear trend line that we can draw. That means you got to draw this line, and now you're on the hunt. You see which one you're going after, and now it's just a matter of time. You wait for them to make a mistake. You wait for your opponent to make a mistake. Now we're going to make this in white, and we're going to make it big. And that's your hunting line, okay? I never used that expression before. This is very new. But we do explain this in lesson number 9 and lesson number 10. Watch those videos. You are hunting the foundational line. And when you get here, you got your entry. If price comes up to here, I still don't really want to take it just yet, even if we hit sword cut. Because now I'm teaching you how to micro hunt. I'm teaching you how to maximize. But you could get some prices here, but you're already there. You hit here a few days ago, went up, and now we're back in this area, which indicates we actually may go back to the lower side of the sword cut. This is the high side. This is the low side. So what's better? What's more excellent is if you got a clear trend line, just wait until you're clear. Because we can play here and then even go underneath the sword cut and then we don't have an entry. That's why you wait. Because as time goes on, we're trading based on the angle, not price. We're not trading. I don't care the number. I do not care. I care about the angle. The angle is going to tell me everything I need to know. Okay. Once the ducks are on a line, I'm waiting for price to get on that side. Right now we're on the underside. We need to be on the top side. Okay. Everybody got it? You guys understand? You got your game plan for GALA? You're hunting GALA? It's there. 1 hour. Questions going once. Questions going twice. Get me there, and then you got an entry. And if you get it, let me know. Because you already. And if you're going to be ahead of the game, you can buy prices now. But remember, sword cut is some of the best entries you can. But sometimes it'll go to the underside, and that gives you a chance to get out. Sword cut is going to be some of the best, safer entries, and I teach that in dive. But this is how. I teach that in the free dives on YouTube. But this is how you guys actually get your good entries if you're bringing sword cut. And it's all the same stuff that we do on the larger time frames, by the way. It's just it's very small, like into the hourly charts. You just hunt the price going in the wrong direction. Let's give it a little bit of text. www.patreon.com/jsong_7. GALA. See Chartroom EP 138, November 1st. GALA is in bullish health on the larger weekly and daily charts. In this episode, we show how to hunt the down move. See sword method, lesson 9 and 10. There is a strong, I'm going to put that in the word, strong foundational line on GALA 1 hour. This is the biggest clue about when the entry will appear. We see this line, therefore we know the angle to watch for. When price breaks to the high side, to the top side, I should say, we can take an entry. And the only other things that are going to change that is if price comes maybe back in here or there's another set of weaknesses or something like that. Okay, but for the most part, the weakness has the strength and health has already appeared on the larger term chart. So I'm only really concerned about the smaller term, and that helps me be in alignment with what price is already doing on the larger term. So I want it to be down. I want it to be down into the sword cut area, and yes, that already happened. That's the sword cut area in this little square. Okay, price came down after the health appeared over here. By the way, health, price come back to the sword cut area. We have now a foundational area. Oh gosh, it is just 1, 2, 3. You're waiting now just for here. Everything's in alignment. If you get that, pull the trigger. Buy a bag of GALA. Everything in this video is not financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything's just for entertainment and comedic purposes only. By the way, I need to write the entry. And this is beautiful because price pulled back into the sword cut area. So beautiful. Not just a sword cut trade. Okay, not just a sword cut trade, but a proper entry bringing the higher time frames into your world. Okay, so draw that and put it in your notes. If you didn't do it, put it in your notes. Take a screenshot right now. Look. So you're looking for that. Get that entry. All right, we're going to look at Ethereum on Bitstamp. And I need to add it to my favorites. All right, so Ethereum, it's a very similar story to, it looks a lot like, you know what it looks like? Here's the photos. Where's that photo? It looks like that crypto we were trading. Yeah, it looks like, what was it, GALA then? It looks a lot like GALA, how there's 2 entries. The first one, anyway guys, there is two big entries on this trade. Okay? The biggest entry was here a few days ago. So we talked about Ether being healthy and positive. Those were the two resistances here. One, and the other one was here, and we drew both of them. Price broke above and pulled back to the sword cut area. Very nice. Okay, so this symbol, we knew that we were going. There should be resistance about here, and on the daily chart, all of this has happened. All of this has happened. So these, if you guys don't like these charts, I like them. I don't know what else to tell you guys. These charts are good. The numbers are good. The options are great. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. All right. We had target here, 1,841. This is some premium charts. Look, October 28th. Currently healthy and bullish. We are at some of the lowest prices after the pullback and at the sword cut. Wow. On October 28th, we were at the sword cut right there. So we were already at some of the lowest prices that we had down here. Okay. At sword cut. Yep, right there, October 27th. Price pulled back up to that area. Now, we knew we're going to have problems here. And we did. We spiked there how many times? 1, 2, and 3 times. Amazing stuff, you guys. Love amazing stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I like it. I don't know what to tell you guys. If you don't like it, I'd like it. The reason I'm paying attention to that line, and I remember we discussed this previous, is because this is the round action here, not the hidden battler up there. I'm going to explain that just one more time. The round action is here. The Lord told me focus on this stuff, and He told me this at the beginning of last year when teaching this method. So we're going to draw this angle, and therefore we know that pullback to that angle is the significant angle, not exactly here. This is the small fry. This is the big story. If the big story has already been won, I'm not so concerned about the small fry. We'll hit that small fry, right? That little pipsqueak. We'll hit him, but we're not so concerned about him. How many times did we hit him? We hit him 1, 2, 3. All right. The first time, it pulled us back to sword cut. Okay. And then we went right back up the next. First time we hit it, we came down. Then we pulled back up the next day, and then we came to sword cut. After that, we came up one more time and challenged them. It's like it's losing strength because price is still advancing. What does this mean? I believe what this means is that price is not as scared of the 1866 area. Okay? That means that Ethereum is going to have a higher chance, and most likely it's going to hit its hidden battler target. Number 1, which is 1943, which is a good year, by the way. 1943. Isn't that Marty McFly? He went back to 1943. You're gonna see price most likely break this. So watch it. Watch it carefully. Okay? Because it's the small fry. It's just hidden battler. It just needs to be fulfilled, and that's it. Price will reject, but it's nothing to change the story. The story is that the hell has already appeared. Therefore, price has a higher chance to go up. Okay? I'm going to delete this. Okay. You guys have that from our lesson. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't need to talk too much about this. If you're looking for the entry, now do what we did to save time today, because we're having a longer class. I'm just going to go all the way down to a 1 hour chart, and we're going to cut the down move. And right now, it's just a bunch of consolidation. It's all it really is. You can see. So there's not really a down move to cut. But if you were trying to cut, you want to look for the consistencies within this move. If we were looking at it, maybe we'll go to a higher time frame, and then we'll draw from there. The only consistencies I can see on the bottom here, that would be a sign of weakness, and that means you're going to be playing down there for a little bit more longer than you want to. There's a consistent move up here. That would be a sign of weakness, but that's not the down consistencies. I do not really have the down move except maybe here. And we can draw that, and that's something. But I'm not going to downplay the fact that there is definitely energy within this area. Okay. Where should your entry be? This one's more complicated, but probably, most likely it's going to be around here. Okay. Most likely. So I'll just give you that screenshot. This is a 2 hour chart on Ethereum. Otherwise, if you're in Ethereum anyway, the next entry is when you finally clear 1866. There's your next entry above there. Okay, the other entry is if you get a proper pullback down to sword cut. Now, if we go back down to that 2-hour chart, are there any clues that could be revealed that we could be going back down to sword cut? Because we only really spiked it, even on the 2-hour chart, we just spiked it for a very short window of time. And yes, the clues are there. If you play under here, you're going back down to properly hit sword cut. If price cannot break this resistance line up here, you're going to come down to sword cut. Okay, most likely you're going to go down to sword cut, and that means people are going to get another chance at Ether, most likely. And again, those prices are, oh, I don't have the prices on here, let me give it to you. Okay, that means you want to be looking to buy Ether around 1748, and gosh, I would like those Ether prices. 1748 and 1736. Okay, those are some of the best prices. You may break to the low side. And again, if we combine that first one we talked about up there, then yes, that could be a clue that you're going to go down as well. Maybe that's your best clue. Watch for that to happen. Again, this is a small 2-hour chart. If you're wanting to watch something, how crypto is going to work, draw that one for today. Observe it. Okay, but mostly you probably should be watching GALA. All right, so let's clear all of these smaller lines out and look back on the larger time frame, and we'll end your GALA daily chart. Daily chart. Okay, break above 1841, get to 1943. Then you're going to get to 2051. Those are your main targets. All right. I'm going to now write down, delete some of these other stuff. We don't need those right now. Oops. Yeah. Here. Yeah, I guess I don't need to update this one. I'll leave it since October 28th. I'm not going to update it. I'll just put an update at the bottom. Update November 1st. Ether is still bullish. There is some evidence that price may pull back towards the sword cut properly and not just a quick touch. Watch the 2-hour and see EP 138 November 1st. Alright, so there's your Ether chart, and I hope that makes you guys some money if price breaks back to sword cut. Okay, and then Ethereum should do well. Alright, last two, MNDE and SNT. We took time today really going to this entries. We're not just showing you the strongest energies, but we're actually showing you some practical entries you can take this week. Let's turn on MNDE, which is called Marinade. Okay, this is a daily chart, by the way. Okay, you want to generally zoom out and you want to focus on the flow of price. When I zoom out, there's not too much candles. We can look at the daily chart, but pay attention to the flow of price. So all of the little spikes on the top and bottom, they're all the exception to the rule. Just the flow of price is very simple. Okay. And so what's happening? What's actually price doing? Let's take a look. Where's our round actions? That's going to be the biggest clue about what's happening next. Round action here, parabolic there. There's another round action here. This is like several segments that we're seeing in price. So there's going to be some important breaks that we're going to be watching for. Those are all done. Sword cut. We're going to draw those angles here. That's going to be your sword cut. Yeah, that should be more proper. Yeah, that makes sense. This is a very complicated one because you got two down angles and you can draw your sword cuts in those areas, and that's going to help you get closer to your entry. I would just leave on your parabolic and your sword cut. This is a very strange one. Okay. We're going to draw these two sword cuts for you for Superfood. All right. Let's give you a little price label for one of these. And then I'm going to zoom in into a smaller time frame. Okay, we got a foundational area, by the way. We're going to draw that one. Okay. Although price is very far away from there. What have you heard about this one, Superfood?
He said that it uses Solana.
Oh, good.
And Solana is pumping, so I'm thinking that manipulation, but I don't know that why I want you to take a look at it.
Okay. Let's go to... It should have been pumping. Yeah, it should have been pumping based on the support here, but this is just such a weird one. The only other thing that you would have been paying attention to is the parabolic that's starting to form here. It's almost like it has back-to-back curves, right? And when you see them, try to do your best to look for the consistency. This one has lots of reasons why we might want to be bullish after this fact, and you only had a few days to react. So this is going to be 1 and 2 days, October 25th. Yeah, would have been probably your entry. Let's look quickly to...
Just I ask if... Can you check the volume?
Yeah, we'll check the volume. There's some other things you can look at on the 1 hour chart. That would have been another entry and things to pay attention to here. There's going to be a resistance here. Verification, price break above there would have been your next health. There's also a smaller parabolic here with health in that section right here. Okay, so that would have been a health. And yeah, that may have been some other entries if you guys are following along. Okay. Hunting the down move in the uptrend. We got a now large round action. That's good. We can draw that. See this round action here? Energy center. You're going to draw like that now because of that round action. Let's draw that one on there for you guys. Dotted. Since we're drawing a 1 hour chart, we can do dotted. Okay, that's going to be an accelerated adjustment line number 1. AAL number 1. Okay, bottom. And I don't have any other entry for you. Not right now. Not yet. Since price is breaking above here, I do have this though. Since we're going up like this and these new candles, you may want to draw the flat based on these two. Draw the flat. If price breaks and pulls back to this area, it is right now there, but if you get a pullback, like meaning it sweeps up for a few candles, maybe 15 cents, and then pulls back down, then you can use that as another entry. You could, if you're trying to ride the wave. Generally, we're so far off the entry for the larger time. I don't want to be, and for a crypto that has this high volatility, I can't in good conscience say to take those trades like that. I like the candles to be a little more consistent. I may have been, if I see a clear downtrend like this, I may want to take that trade here in that area. I can say, oh yeah, take that breakout. That one's fine. And maybe this one, how we have a strong consistency and then price even rejected at the last moment before having to change your behavior right here where the circle is. That's a pullback. I could say, yeah, take that pullback. You should be continuing higher. Okay, and you are. Okay, so right now this shape is not really something I really like to trade, but if you want to, if you get the pullback, okay, if you arc up and get another pullback, you may want to take the trade. Okay, 1 hour chart. Okay, Wednesday 1 hour. We should rename Wednesdays to Wednesday 1 hour. Just showing you guys how to read. Okay, all right, and let's look at the volume. When I'm looking at the volume, all I really am seeing is that the supply was drained up in these areas right here in this little box here. The down move, and you can see the volume decreasing in this area. The supply is drained up. So we should be able to continue up to the high side, and that's just a normal volume levels that we should see. So business as usual, change your behavior. This is the average volume. This was the extra volumes and a lot of supplies that was holding down the market. And as we enter into the health and the supply is drying up, we should be able to continue moving to the high side. And for the most part, that's basically what's been happening. If we're looking at this maybe on a 1 hour chart, massive volume. Okay, there's starting to be a little bit of slowdown right now. You can see that as we're going higher, the volume is going lower. Okay, so there might be some slowdown in this, but the rules look a little bit different once you're in the uptrend. Once you're in an uptrend, the supply is supposed to be drained from the top side, but usually there's signs of testing. Like for example, if we hit the roof and there's a lot of supply and it's not ready to go up, okay, the price comes down. Then we go back up again, and where are we at here in this? Less supply. Okay, so maybe now the market's free to continue because the supply is being taken out of the market. So now we're free to continue going up. It's a very complicated subject to talk about, but what I'm looking at right now is that price, as the volume's going down, the supply is being drained out of this market. I like a more clear test as far as like the maps go, because you can use those easily. I can say, oh yeah, that's a test. Otherwise, you have to only rely on the volume to show you where the tests are, which is maybe a little bit out beyond my skill, because I'm not an expert in VSA. I'm pretty decent at VSA, but not an expert. But I can say that you can see some of the volume being drained, supply being drained out of this, which clears the path ahead for higher prices. And so it looks like you're probably still going to experience some higher prices on here. Okay. All right. Let's go on to the last one. What is it? Status. There we go. Oh, Bittrex got me some more data. Good. Got me some more data. Okay, let's try this. Where do we take profits in SNT? You're at one of the weakness areas. This is going to be target number 1. You're actually there. Ooh. Here to here is where you're going to take it. There. Huh. Where's the next one? Ah, maybe up here? Yep, there. So now one we can draw up here. Let's find what that price was. Okay. Touch my hands, my mouth and my heart, every part. Holy Ghost, on me, fall on me. 0.05 and 14 cents. 0.05 and 14 cents is what I would be looking at as for this target 1. Huh. Yeah, that's something you're going to be using, Lisa, if you're looking for this. This one's actually pretty good. And she didn't tell me why. I don't know. Look at that. Yeah, parabolic. I know she saw that parabolic. She didn't tell me. I blame Lisa. Of course, in her defense, you don't really have many candles on the top side up here. And definitely maybe not my cup of tea for these candles. But you did have one consistency down here. Okay. In that area here. But other than that, that may have been a very difficult trade to get in. You're going to have reasons why you were in there before. So yeah, any other questions for me at the moment? SNT is currently at a target. If there is another entry or structures above this area, price may move towards 0.14 target number 2. Okay? No? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, profits now. Yeah, I would take some profits now. November 1. Okay. Here's the crypto. GLMR coin. GLMR. It's not glamour coin. I'm just making fun of that. I don't know what it actually stands for. There is a lot of weakness on this chart. There was some health that had started to, an opportunity of health that started to appear here as we were coming in this area. There's foundational areas here, so there would have been some type of health here, and you lost it at the bottom of this flat right here. You should continue down, and you're still there right now. You do need a better entry. In these cases, price has to slow down the descent. Okay, so the descents will actually slow down like that until they become flat, and then there's a chance to look on the top side. But when you see these flats not working, when you see the foundational angles not working, and there's no health, and you're not either at sword cut, and that didn't happen, or at the actual angle itself, which should have been here, right there. See how we broke above and bounced on, and nothing to show for it. This is why you hunt the down move, because it saves you money. Because even if you're like, oh, there's health, right? Where's your last foundational move? Here. You just wait. You're saying, okay, we're waiting now for the entry, and you never got it. You just never got it. When price was playing in that area, the most you got to was right here. Okay? You got there, and you still came down. So this is why you really got to draw that hunt, a hunt in proper sequence, it can save you some money. It can save you some money. Until then, we're just going to be in a downtrend. Okay? So let's draw the flat. And we're going to draw it in blue. Actually, should be this blue. Let's get you a price. No sign in sight for the health. And we are also not putting too much weight on the top sides. Even though there's some health that has appeared, we really want to focus on the down moves like that. And therefore, the health will be up actually somewhere here. Okay? And therefore, I don't want to enter until I'm on this side. Oh, you can't see my face. There you go. So I want to be up here in this little circle here. Yeah, that's where we want to be, because we don't have so much faith in the down move. And again, the reason we don't have faith in the down move is because when we had the down move here, we had nothing to show for it, even though there was health. And now again, we have a down move with a little bit held, but so far we still have nothing to show for it. We're just still back we're still underneath there. So what is really happening? It's very possible that there's still more weaknesses that still have to come. When you see price break above the down move, that prices and lower prices should ensue. And this is going to be the next area right here. Okay? So get you below there and you're going lower. Okay, you're going lower prices. But how do we measure that? To be exact, now that we know to be exact, I'm going to fade this away. Now that we know, we can draw exact here. And look, a verification that tells me we're doing it right. All right, so now we have a key angle, or KA. And let's put daily on this glamorous coin. We thought it was going to be more glamorous, and it's not. It is very not glamorous. It could use some glamour lesson, babe. Need some diamond-studded gloves. Some beautiful perfume. What you're doing now, here's our phantom angle. Our PA, our phantom angle. How come sometimes he writes PA and sometimes he writes the word phantom angle? The reason I do that is because, for your sake, for tutorial sake. Okay? So now we know, again, the entry is somewhere up here. Okay? So do not take this trade. You're asking for trouble if you take it. Wait till the health appears and price enters there. Okay? That may mean you may miss out on some of the lowest prices down here, but we need actual evidence. We need some evidence that we are going to be doing. That really is the bottom. And unless you have it, you don't want to take it because you're just gambling at that point. Okay? Okay? Alrighty. And that's it. And that's all she wrote. Do I have any other questions about GLMR? And I hope you stay with me. We're going to read the Word of God. All these image notes will be available after class. Currently, we do not want to take a trade until price enters above the upper red line. CR EP 138 November 1st. We beat XDC with a dead horse. Okay. We're just going back to our pictures for today. We beat XDC with a dead horse, and XLM, by the way. Doesn't Jae-Sung mean he beat XDC like a dead horse? No, we beat it with a dead horse. Picked up the horse and the carcass, and we... Okay, XDC, larger trend. Bullish, we remember that from our previous chart. Sorry, I'm making you guys dizzy, huh? Mm-hmm. Currently waiting for a short entry. The 2-hour move Saturday hit quickly now. It's going back up in that area. We'll wait for resistance around there. And so we talked about that back on Saturday on the October 23rd. And we had a big old sign on the top that says, do not take any shorts when you're above the orange line. So our first target was hit really quickly on that same day that we posted that. So now here's the new chart. That was that orange line. We still had the orange line. Okay. And we're above the orange line. Okay. So no more shorts, no more entries, no more opportunities. You're waiting now for a short entry for XDC traders. There it is, currently bullish, waiting for a pullback into here, 049 or 047, and you're now waiting for the down move. You got to hunt the down move, and this one's going to be super easy. Okay, And so back then we had an orange line that says do not short above orange line, but now we said this. Previously we did not want to short above orange line. Now the price has been broken, therefore we would be looking bullish and for a bullish entry on XDC. On the 1 hour chart on November 1st, I do not have a consistent down angle that we can cut. If you see it and price breaks above that angle, this would indicate the next possible entry for XDC. Most likely this will occur as price falls further back into the short cut. So yes, we are waiting to get back in this price area, okay? I
sold.
You what?
The other week when we were waiting for XDC to go down, I sold it and it pumped. As soon as I sold it, it started to go up.
Currently right now, yeah, you shouldn't be, I can't say that. So yeah, but you are looking for a buy now. Do not take a buy right now, just yet, not just yet. Okay? You can sell yours, but there's no more shorts after the orange line from episode 123. 135. No more shorts after orange line. We're above orange line, no more shorts. You're looking now for an entry at sword cuts. And right now all we did was really pull back to the meat of the line, the core, the actual key angle. We broke above and sat down there, but there is no more pullback. You need to get a structure. So currently the candles look like this, and I gave you a hypothetical. If you are seeing some type of foundational line, draw it, and then you can take the next entry. But most likely it's going to happen as price properly pulls back into this sword cut area. Okay? It can be like that. This requires patience. So watch it. Draw the down move. Hunt the down move because the health is already in the larger time frames. When you see it, draw it. There, cut it. If you can cut it, you'll find your entry. Okay? Watch today's video. We talk a lot about that. Okay? When recovering. But right now, most likely you're going to go down a little bit further on XDC to get some nice juicy entry prices. Some precious entry prices. Something like GALA. GALA's a good example. Okay, GALA pulled right back into that sword cut area. Beautiful. And also, by the way, the big one on GALA, why I'm comparing GALA to it is because if we look at GALA on the 1 hour chart, we see a nice, beautiful round action here, and we discussed it in depth in this episode. Nice round action in this area, foundational area. So take the trade here, and most likely it's going to happen in the sword cut area. This is a textbook example of how it should look. GALA fell back to the sword cut, and it has a foundational area. GALA's ready to go. The bullets loaded in the gun. I wouldn't take the trade just yet. Wait till you get here. Watch the 1 hour chart so you can watch it. It's most likely going to be within the next 24 to 48 hours. Okay, GALA's just on bullish health. That's the difference between XDC and GALA. GALA's pulled back to that sword cut, and it has a foundational area that you guys can all draw. We drew it easily. That's a terrible picture, but in the class there's lots of better pictures. Whereas XDC has not. Most likely it's going to be able to. You are going to be able to draw one as it pulls down a little bit further to sword cut. So watch it pull back, and then from there, you're good to go for the larger bullish action. And XDC,
so we don't go in just yet?
No, don't take off
back
yet.
in, let's say.
It shouldn't. Okay. I think you're going to get lower prices for XDC. Just a little bit lower. Okay. And
Would you be going on a 3x long on GALA or something? Would you buy a 3x?
For GALA, I can't say anything about leverage. I don't take leverage trades because I don't like to be margined out. But for GALA, yeah, it's pretty bullish. It's pretty bullish, and you should get your entry very soon. Okay, you can watch it. Watch this episode though on the timestamps so that you know how to draw all the important lines on there. Okay, I want you to make sure you draw all the important lines. All right, let's read the Word of God together. Hallelujah. Today we're going to read Acts chapter 21 verses 27 on up. So we last left off at Paul saying, I'm going to wash. I'm going to shave my head. I'm going to go do my purification rituals because now I'm being put with the Jews here. In Jerusalem, there was a lot of Jews that were being converted, but they still do not understand where the Gentiles fit in to the story. They don't understand God's grace when it comes to the rest of the world. And they're accusing Paul of many things. And the disciples told him, said, hey, Paul, they're accusing you of a lot of stuff, man. They're saying all kind of stuff about you. I want you to give them no real good reason for them to be able to say stuff. These guys right here, they're a Jew like you're a Jew. They're going to go do their purification rituals that you've done every year, that you've done every so often when you were there. I want you to go and do that with them. And Paul was like, yes, absolutely. I'm going to go do that. So the disciples were like telling him, hey, go do that. And the real reason is so that they can't say anything bad against you. So that they can't say anything bad against you. Now remember, that's important. We're going to come back to that in just a second. Take a look. When the 7 days were almost completed, the 7 days of his purification, the Jews from Asia, seeing him in the temple, just like the disciples said was going to happen, they stirred up the crowd and laid hands on him, crying out, "Men of Israel, help! This is the man who's teaching people, everyone, everywhere against the people of the law. People and the law and this place." Now that's not true, obviously, because he's preaching Jesus. But they are accusing him of all these things. And now they see him in the temple and they're grabbing him and they're going crazy. Help! We got to capture this man. Okay? Moreover, he has brought Greeks into the temple and defiled this holy place. Now he didn't do that. They accused him of it. For they had previously seen Trophimus the Ephesian with him in the city. And they supposed that Paul had brought him into the temple, which he didn't. Then all the city was stirred up, and the people ran together. They seized Paul and dragged him out of the temple, and at once the gates of the temple were shut. And they were seeking to kill him. Man, the same murderous attitude that they had with Jesus, they have with his disciples. Jesus said, if they hate me, they will what? If they hated me, they will hate you also. The answer is hate you also. Let's pull that up real quick for you guys. John chapter 15, verse 18 through 27. If the world hates you, know that it hated me before it hated you. If you are of the world, will love its own, because you are not of the world. But I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you, that a servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will persecute you. And if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But these things they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me. Okay? Now, Paul is in the middle of this experience. And he has to remember that as he's going through this experience of them dragging him, hating him, that it happened to his Lord, Jesus Christ. They seized him, they dragged him out of the temple, and were seeking to kill him. And as they were seeking to kill him, a word came to the tribune of the cohort that all Jerusalem was in confusion. Now he at once took soldiers and centurions and ran down to them. And when he saw the tribune and the soldiers, they stopped beating Paul. All the way up until the time that the cohort comes with the police, so to speak, they are just beating him. Could you guys take something like that? For the sake of Christ? What about for the sake of a false accusation? Not trying to hold to it as truth, but just almost be beaten for no reason. Except for that you're following Christ. That is the experience that he's having this day. The tribune came up and arrested him and ordered him to be bound with chains. Don't even know what he did. Just know that the people are beating him up and that the city's in an uproar because of him. So they arrest him and bound in 2 chains. And he inquired who he was and what he had done. Who are you? What did you do? Arrested with... Didn't even do anything. He's just taking a bath, so to speak. He's just washing for the 7 days. Some in the crowd were shouting one thing, and some were another. And as he could not learn the facts because of the uproar, he ordered him to be brought into the barracks. So all the crowd's like, they're yelling and they're yelling, what's going on? One person shouting one thing, he's doing this, he's doing that. What is he really doing? Let's just bring him somewhere quiet. And he brought him to the barracks where the soldiers stay. And when he came up to the steps, he was actually carried by the soldiers because the violence of the crowd. For the mob of the people followed, crying out, Away with him! They can't even let him have peace. They're chasing the squad car of soldiers as he's going out, so to speak. And they just, how much death and murders in there. They just, so dogmatic in their viewpoint that they can't even hear the other side of the argument. They only hear one side of this argument. And remember that the Bible says this about this subject. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 18 verse 17, it says, the first to speak in court sounds right until the cross-examination begins. Another version might say, the first to speak in a matter would seem right until the witness is cross-examined. This is a very strange conundrum to be in. Because usually what happens when one person starts speaking an accusation and everybody witnesses it, oh, it must be true. That's how we have so much disinformation, because we see it all over our media. It must be true and everyone runs with it. Same with the prophetic. Some person may say this and everyone run with it. But do we investigate the matter? Do we pray about the matter for ourselves to see if that's something that I need to take action on right now? Just like we spoke about in the previous Bible studies from the episode 136 and episode 135. When we spoke about all the prophetic word that comes to us, do you need to take action on that? And the answer for Paul was no. Were the prophetic people hearing it? Yes, was the option. But they don't always need to take action on it. Many times it's just to prepare your heart and to prepare you. Okay? Some people don't want to change, and they're not going to be ready to hear what God is trying to say. And they're going to just only believe one way, and you can't change him. And here in this case, they're saying, away with them, kill them. As Paul was about to be brought to the barracks, he said to the tribune, may I ask something to you? And he said, do you know Greek? You speak Greek? Are you not the Egyptian then who recently stirred up a revolt and led 4,000 men of the Assyrians out of the wilderness? And Paul said, I'm a Jew from Tarsus. Now, this is how bad the rumors got out of hand. This is how bad the rumors got out of hand. The cohort thought that Paul was actually this guy who was Egyptian. He thought he was Greek. Or he thought he was an Egyptian. Whoa. Aren't you? I thought you were going to be this Egyptian. You must have been the bad guy here. And people just assign all of this credibility to the negative side without investigating the matters. That's how people are. The Bible tells us man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart. Man will quickly judge you like the book on the cover. How many times do you judge a book by its cover? I do it all the time. When I go to the library and I'm looking at all the books, I'll pick a book and I judge it by its cover. And that's just our nature. We see things only on the outside. We go to the supermarket and what we buy, the packages that most align with what we're looking for. Okay? If what looks good on the outside, most time people put it in the cart without even reading the label. Without even reading the ingredients. Most people do. Paul said this, I am a Jew from Tarsus and Cilicia. Do you know, by the way, everybody there, usually they're not brave. They're most of them are sissies, by the way. A citizen of no obscure city, I beg you, permit me to speak to the people. Allow me to speak to them. And when he gave him permission, he's fine. Go ahead and talk to them. Paul, standing on the steps, because all the mobs out there following them to the jail. Okay, when he had given him permission, Paul standing on the steps, motioned to the people, and this is what he said. And when there was a great hush, he addressed them in a Hebrew language, saying, and then we're going to find out next time on Chartroom, the end of that chapter. What are some of the takeaways we can take away from this? Are people quick to judge? Absolutely. Can we use that to our advantage? In a lesson, in wisdom we can. If we know people are quick to judge, what can you do to stay on the right side? You can do what Paul did. What did he do? He explained himself. Sometimes you have to take a moment to explain yourself. You do not have to explain yourself to everyone. But there's a difference between times when you're trying to win somebody for Christ and people have a pre-judgmental view of you. And you have to explain that you are with Christ. And sometimes that means that when you make that stand for Christ, you are going to suffer. And it may not be beautiful for you. And you may be persecuted and hurt. But That's your lot in life. That's the cross. That's the persecution we're going to get. Are you going to be able to win everybody over? No, absolutely not. But sometimes you can win maybe 1 or 2 souls. And sometimes you can at least alleviate your suffering. You just have to know that the world already has evil views about God. They curse God for a lot of things. Lord, why do you let all these bad things happen? They curse God for many reasons. They curse Christians for a lot of good reasons, a lot of bad reasons. And sometimes for what they believe is good reasons as well. They were hurt by church. Because they already associate us with a bad name, a scarlet letter, so to speak, sometimes, we can do things to ease their conscience. Get up on the steps and say, hey, this is the truth. You guys don't understand. You may not understand because you think I'm someone else, but the truth is I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. And this is where I stand. All right, let's have a closing prayer. Father, we thank you for this day. And I thank you so much for letting us slow down these cryptos. And I thank you that we get to share the method of creating price maps that bring peace as we're moving and navigating through charts. I thank you for the entries that we see and the good things that will happen in some of these cryptos. And I pray that we find entries on GALA and some of these other cryptos. And I pray that you put seed money in the hearts of these people and give them and bring them wealth, Lord. Bring them wealth and help them always be positioned for the good things of the future, Lord. Lord, putting that aside, I thank you for you. I thank you for your love and for your heart towards your people. We love you not because of wealth. We love you not because of cryptos or maps or gold or silver or anything like that. Not because of the roof over our head even or the pillow underneath our heads. We thank you for what you've already done. And whether in our future, be it famine or persecution, in our future, Lord, if we have great expense, and if the people judge us and they persecute us and they yell at us and they beat us, even physically, as they do in some countries for Christ, such as China, in some places in North Korea where they're put to death for being Christians. In such places, Lord, I pray that you would give us peace if we are ever in such places or such situations. That we would make sure that we make a stand for Christ. If they put a gun to our head and say, take the mark of the beast, we would choose you every time. If they say, we will beat you, we will pull out your fingernails, we will hurt you, may we choose Christ every time. If they make us make a choice between our family members, our loved ones, our sons and daughters, and Jesus Christ, may we choose you every time, knowing that our life is short on the earth, and we will see each other again in heaven, provided we shrink not back from our faith. Paul, who knew what was going to happen to him, he willingly went to Jerusalem. And even though he was persecuted and they judged him and they beat him, he still tried to make a compelling argument to at least save some souls and to set the record straight on who he was and who he stands. He's a believer. And may we set the record straight. May we make it known among ourselves and our loved ones, we are believers. We love you and we praise you. We thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 My little baby. Oh, my little baby. Say hi. Amen.
Hey, how you doing, wee guy?
So cute.
All right. I love you guys. You guys have a great morning.
Hi, Jason. Thank you.
Bye, guys.